So, oops. Calories is a way to measure energy. So each food has a certain amount of energy or the ability to produce energy in every gram that we get of that food. Not all foods are energy producing foods. So what are examples of energy producing foods? Yeah, the carbohydrates, lipids, and what? Proteins, okay? Nucleic acids a little bit too. So they're going to give us calories. So when I look at calories, that is a measurement of what? Yeah, the amount of, I just said it, the amount of energy that food has the ability to produce for you. So when we talk about carbohydrates, how much energy measured in kilocalories do carbohydrates have the ability to produce per gram? 4. So what the heck does that mean? Later on down the line it says there's certain percentages for the amounts of the substances you should have in your diet per day. Did you get that? 45% carbohydrates, 30, less than 30%, 30 to whatever percent lipids. That's how you should break up nutrition in a day with respect to the energy that you want from that food. Did you get that? Yes? Okay. So what if I read, and you guys are going to have to use your calculators because I can't do math in my head, God forbid. If it says I need 2,000 calories worth of energy a day for me to exist, that's the average. That's kind of the average you'll see on packages. I need 2,000 kilocalories, which is actually what that means, of energy so that I can carry on all the different functions I need to carry on as me for the day. And where am I going to get those kilocalories from? What kind of food? Carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. So if of this 2,000 calories, it says I need 45% of my calorie intake to be from carbohydrates. How do I know how many carbohydrates to eat? All right, here's who's got a calculator.
900.
How did you do it?
2,000 calories times 0.45.
So 2,000 calories times 0.45, which is 45%, is going to give me 900 calories. So of the 2,000 calories worth of energy that I need to eat today, 900 of those calories need to come from carbohydrates. That still doesn't tell me how many carbohydrates I have to eat. So if I'm looking in my little book and I try to figure out how many carbohydrates to eat, how is it usually presented to me? If I look on the back of a package, how are the carbohydrates presented to me? In what? Look on your Nesquik, your whatever that is. How many carbohydrates?
30.
Grams. Oh, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that to class today. But 31 grams. Well, how the heck do I understand what 31 grams of carbohydrates means with respect to the calories I need for the day? Calculator girl. So 31 grams of carbohydrates equals how many calories, kilocalories worth of carbohydrates? 31 times, you got it, 124 kilocalories worth of carbohydrates are in your delicious Nesquik. Yes? So how many more carbohydrates do I need to get? How many more calories worth? I would subtract that from the 900, right? So this is going to tell me how many grams of carbohydrates I need per day. So calculator girl, do 900 divided by 4. What do we get?
225.
225. So 225 grams of carbohydrates is what I should have, according to that little breakdown, in a healthful diet per day to get all the energy I need that I should get from carbohydrates in a day.
So you used 4 because of...
Correct. So what if let's use a different nutrient. I know, I'm gonna call you calculator girl today. So what does it say for fats, do you know?
9.
It says 9 kilocalories, but I'm going to go down, where is that little, there it is. This is what I'm referring to, okay? So it says 20 to 35% of your kilocalories of energy in your diet per day should come from fat. So pick a number that you would want.
Percentage?
Yeah.
25%.
You want to go 25%? So today you want to make sure that your diet is 25% fat. So you're going to multiply your 2,000 calories for the day times 0.25, and that's going to give me 500 what? That's the kilocalories of energy that I want to get in my diet today from fat. Now, how many kilocalories of energy per gram?
9.
9. So we're going to divide that by 9, and that's going to tell me what?
55.5.
So 55.5 grams of fat per day in this person's diet is going to give them what? What percentage of their energy? 25% of their energy from fat. You're still confused?
Yeah, well, in the book was why I got confused. I thought I had it, but I did the review question in the back of the book where it says 10 grams of fat, and then it gives you 4 choices, and the answer is 90 kilocalories of energy. I don't understand that. That was 4, so I thought it was 4.
No. Fat is 9. So 10 grams of fat times 9, that's a 9, whoop, kilocalories per gram is what? 90. What if I said 10 grams of carbohydrates?
40.
It would be 40. What if I said 10 grams of protein? 40.
No, there was one with 7.
Alcohol. We try not to get most of our nutrients and kilocalories from alcohol, hopefully, in the day. There are some days where we might, but not on a regular basis. But yeah, kilocalories, 7 per gram of alcohol. Okay? So that's how you figure it out. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Just kind of go through that again in your head. Yep.
This is kind of off subject, but I tried printing off the outline for the lecture here, and it didn't work. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but
You should be able to. Did anybody else?
I tried by the financial aid office because the library is closed.
I had to make up a new table and type it in.
The financial aid office doesn't have the right
It's
Excel.
weird as a
Would it work in the library?
that's when you put it as a
You can print, when you print it out, you can print it as an outline. You can print it, yeah. You go under different options. I can show you.
I already made up the table anyway, so I would just read it.
Yeah, you can print it different ways. You don't have to print it, when you print a PowerPoint, you don't have to print the slides. You can go in and choose the outline and print it. Yeah, that shouldn't be the issue, but maybe the librarian can help you out. And if not, let me know. I'll see what I can do. Ask the IT guy. Okay, so are you good now? Okay. So remember, 4, 4, and 9 for the 3 biggies, right? 4 kilocalories of energy per gram for the proteins and for the carbohydrates. 9 kilocalories of energy per gram for the fats. 7 for alcohol. Yes? Okay. The all those little calculations, the DNRs and all of that, I'm not going to get crazy about that. I'm going to go right from what's in the PowerPoint. So don't panic about those. Okay? Any other questions from Chapter 1? We good? Yes. The quiz is due Friday. While I have you here, let's go in and see if I can show you where that is.
Yeah, I was just afraid that if I opened it, then I would have to keep it right there.
Yeah, you do.
I want to double check.
Yep. So let me go in and show you so there's no confusion as to where it is. The computers are extremely fast today. Yeah, so as I wrote in my email, make sure you're ready to take your quiz. Don't start it and then think you can come back to it. You can't. You have 15 minutes, you'll get kicked out. And then you have to come beg me to open it up again. So you don't want to do that. So when you go into your class, and I have to get there kind of a roundabout way, you usually go in under my courses, right? Okay, I have to go a little bit around the block and upside down and round. But we'll get to the same place eventually when the computer decides to take me there. Excuse me. So when you come into the course, you'll see this, all these good things. Has everybody gone into their course and seen it? Okay, your lecture video, when I put them up, sometimes if we miss class due to weather, I'm going to actually make a video and put it up there. Now I'm actually recording class, so that's where the video will go. So if you want to watch the class again, that's what you'll do. Push on that lecture video and you can see it. But your quizzes will be under coursework. So when you go to coursework, this, again, you won't see this. This is what I see. Yeah, but then I won't be able to see anything because well, we can try it. I don't think it'll. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So that's what you're going to see. So Chapter 1 is open now. You notice there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there, right? You're not going to see it until I open it. And I don't open it until it's time for you to use it.
Is it just like a multiple choice?
Yep.
And does it bring you to another link, or I've never
No,
done
it's
that.
it's within this program. It's an actual quiz that I've typed in into your CM Connect, into Eraser. So it doesn't bring you somewhere else. Don't try to go somewhere else either. So don't try to Google the answers because you're going to get messed up. It's going to kick you out. Okay? So seriously, be ready to take your quiz when you sit down to take your quiz. So you'll press on Chapter 1 and then it'll prompt you through. It's multiple choice, so there's no typing. One of the problems with a lot of these online things is you type in an answer and say you get one letter off, it's going to say it's wrong. Yeah, no. I'm not even going there. This is basically just to keep you studying. Okay, so they're very basic quizzes. And they're a very small percentage of your grade. Okay? So when is it due? Okay, so I gave you a little break. Typically, what I'm going to do is make the quiz due before the next class. That's before the next class. So the class starts at 9:30. Guess when the quiz is due? 9:25, before class. Because I don't want you taking the quiz during class. See how that goes? So I gave you a couple extra days just in case I knew we would probably have some problems trying to figure out where it was. But it's within CM Connect. It's not through my diet analysis. It's a totally different thing.
Do we ever use that?
I don't typically. It's if you've used in other classes some supplements that come with textbooks, it's very similar to that. So it's something that the textbook has created. I can set up like a dummy course if you want, and if you want to use some of the study tools that the textbook has created for you, I can do that if you want. So I can do that for you next week. I'll give you a code. Because when you go in and sign in, and it says course code if you want to sign into the course. You don't have that because I haven't created it. But I can do that for you if you want. So if you guys want me to do that? Okay. So I'll give you a course code next week after I create the course. And basically it's a course created by the textbook.
Is it like mastering?
Yeah.
How are we gonna? Cause I started the diet tracker thing for March to March.
Mm-hmm.
How do we kind of turn that in?
That's when we get a little closer, there's actual reports that you can generate. So I'm going to tell you exactly which reports you need to generate. And then basically what you're going to do is critique them. So you're going to write me a little something about what you got out of the analysis based on the reports that you print out. Okay? All right? Are we good? 15 minutes, 10 questions, 1 bonus. So 10 questions, multiple choice, and there's a bonus that's multiple choice as well. So 11 questions. Okay? So again, be ready to take it when you sit down. Okay? Questions? No? We're good? Everybody ready? Good. All right, so let's do chapter 2. And this chapter talks a little bit about, okay, now that we understand what it is we need for a healthful diet, how do we plan it? So what do we need to have in our diets in order to make sure that we get the energy we need to carry on all of our reactions of metabolism? And not only the energy we need, but what else do we need besides energy? Yeah, building blocks, right? Yes?
I'm sorry, this is just why is it called a healthy diet? Why is it called healthy?
It's, I don't know, because that's the word they chose to use.
It seems fun.
It seems funny.
Yeah. I'm trying to get English.
All right. All right. So talk to the publishers of this textbook and tell them your concerns. Why is it grammatically incorrect to say healthful? It sounds weird, but it's not grammatically incorrect. Oh, English health pet peeve.
Everyone has pet peeves.
Yes. So healthful diet, what does it have to be? We have to have enough of it. How many of you have decided it's time to shed a few pounds and you're going to starve yourself to death by eating celery and carrots and water for 3 weeks, so you can fit into that bathing suit for the summer? Is that adequate? No. Moderation. Everything in moderation. Have you heard that expression? Have you ever tried to go on the same diet and you decide that I'm going to eliminate all of the things that I enjoy in life? How long does that diet last? Yeah, a day and a half, and then you go, binge somewhere on all of the wonderful things that you enjoy in life. So it's okay to have the things that you enjoy in life, but you have to make sure that you have them in what? In moderation. You have to make sure you have a balanced diet. So the all-carbohydrate diet or the no-carbohydrate diet, are those diets healthful for us? No. We have to make sure we balance our nutrients so that we get all of the building blocks we need for the metabolism, the chemistry that's going on in our bodies. In order to do that, we have to vary the foods that we take in, because not all foods have everything we need. Certain foods have a lot of what we need, but not everything. So we have to make sure our diets are what? varied. Mix it up. The all lettuce diet isn't good for us, right? So we need to get enough energy. We need to get enough of the nutrients that we need for the chemistry that's going on. We need to get enough fiber. What the heck is fiber? Everybody talks about fiber. Fiber's so important. Get your fiber, get your fiber. Anybody know what fiber is? It's actually carbohydrates that you can't digest. So what's so important about them? How? Keeps things moving through the digestive system.
With water. Without water, it'd be the opposite.
Yeah, it can plug up the digestive system. So fiber adds bulk. Bulk, movement. Movement, important. If anybody has had movement impeded for any long period of time, you understand the importance of keeping things moving along. It's like plugging up the whole works with respect to putting out the trash, right? All of that, those substances that normally should be leaving our bodies are stuck there. Is that good for the cells inside the digestive system? No. So fiber is important. Vitamins are important. As we go through this course, we'll discuss it. Vitamins and minerals are important to help support the reactions of metabolism. So a diet adequate in many nutrients can still be inadequate in a few, because there's so many different things we need. I keep pushing the wrong down button. That's why it won't go anywhere. So, another key, again, is moderation. Not too much of any given group, because that's not going to allow us to have an adequate diet. So if we need vitamins and minerals and fiber, if we just eat fiber, are we going to get vitamins and minerals? No. So healthful diet contains the right amount of foods to help maintain a proper weight. Now, weight is related to the energy input, versus energy output. Is everybody's ideal weight in this room the same? No. What's it based on?
Height.
It's based on height, your body frame, believe it or not, your sex. Your input versus your output. So some of us might be the exact same body frame, height, same frame and everything, but one person might be a couch potato and one person might be a long distance runner. Do they have the same energy requirements? So everybody has a different energy requirement based on a whole bunch of different things. And a balanced diet contains different combinations so that I get all of the things I need for proper nutrition. So when I eat a varied diet, it helps to ensure that I'm going to get all of those things that I need. So some of the different things that will help you design a healthful diet could include things like food labels. Who reads food labels? My children hated me when I went to the grocery store because I would pick up everything they wanted to get and I would read the food label. And if there were certain ingredients on the label, the item went back on the shelf and we walked away. And then they I really want it. But food labels can help you. Tell you about things you might not want to put into your healthful diet. There's a whole bunch of different organizations. There were some references in the back of Chapter 1 that help with guidelines for Americans. And we've all seen in some way, shape, or form a food pyramid. Is there anyone in this class who hasn't seen a food pyramid before? Okay, so my pyramid is one of the references you'll see in the book. It's a guideline to help with eating plans, to help try and get those varied foods into our diet. What's the FDA? The Food and Drug Administration requires food labels on most products. That's fairly new, isn't it? I mean, some of you might even remember when that was implemented. You're probably a little bit older than you, but I remember back in my day there was no food labels on anything. It was just Cheerios, and there you were. We had Cheerios, right? But the FDA recognized how important it was for people to know what's in their food, to make choices for themselves as to what they want to put in their diet. So some of the things that are going to be included in a food label is, what is it? Cheerios. What's in it? How much in the package? Now this is important. Have you gone to the cafeteria lately? They have some really good choices there. They have bad choices, absolutely, but they have some good choices too. And they have little packages of like nuts and trail mix and stuff like that. Have you ever looked at how many servings there were in those packages? See, because when I buy a package of something, I'm eating the whole thing. I'm not sharing with anybody, right? So even though the food might be healthful, you have to be careful about what? Serving size and moderation. Because in those little packages, which I will eat by myself, you can see sometimes I was supposed to share them with 3 other people. So you have to be careful. So the net contents of packages in there as well. Like your Nesquik, are you supposed to share?
Yeah.
Yeah, with how many people?
Well, two servings.
Yep.
So really, it's not 31 carbohydrates. It's
Correct. So I'm so glad you brought that to class today. So, ingredients list, what's in there? My suggestion to you, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. If it takes you 10 minutes to sound out the word, you probably don't want to put it in your body. So the ingredients list. Where was it made? That's important. Manufacturer's name and address. And then nutrition information. So some small percentage of breakdown of some of the nutrients that are in your food are also there as well. I don't know if this is going to play. Give it a shot.
Making food choices that combine to give our bodies and minds the broad range of elements they require is very important to enjoying a happy, healthy life. In 1990, the United States Congress passed the Nutrition Labeling and Education Act, which specifies labeling information. There are 5 primary components of information that must be included on any label: the statement of identity or common name, the net content of the package, the ingredient list, the manufacturer's name and address, and a nutrition facts panel. On the front of most packages, the statement of identity or the common name of the product must be prominently displayed. The net contents of the package as weight, volume, or count is also printed for the consumer. The third component required on a food label is the ingredient list. This list includes the ingredients listed by their common name in descending order by weight. The manufacturer's name and address must be provided for consumers who wish to obtain more information regarding the product. The last requirement is a nutrition facts panel, which contains the nutrition information for the product, is listed. As of January 2006, the Food Allergen Labeling and Consumer Protection Act of 2004 became effective. This requires manufacturers to clearly identify if their product contains a protein derived from any of the 8 allergenic foods or food groups. These include milk, eggs, fish, shellfish, tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, and soybeans. The Nutrition Facts Panel provides useful information to consumers to plan healthful diets. Serving size and the number of servings per container are...
I just want to pause here. Do you know the little box of Kraft macaroni and cheese? How many of you enjoy the Kraft macaroni and cheese? The orange Kraft macaroni. By the way, there's no such thing as orange cheese. Did you know that? No such thing. Why is it orange? Because we dyed it orange. Whose bright idea was to make cheese orange anyway in the first place? I don't know. But I want you to look at your wonderful Kraft macaroni and cheese. Now this one is some generic brand. It says you're supposed to share it with 2.5 people. Guess how much your Kraft macaroni and cheese should be shared with? 4. How many of you eat the whole box? Yeah. Yeah, right? You eat the whole box. It's just, what? 4 people? Please. Come on. That's a snack, right?
What about the 80s organic macaroni and cheese?
I don't know. Is it better?
It's orange.
Well, no, it's not. It's not orange. It's white.
Like the white.
Yeah. But just a hint, cheese is not orange. Ever. Unless you can get a cow to give orange milk. Right? Okay, so just saying. Now, one of the things about these foods, these packaged foods, is, and this is like, I don't know where this product came from, but these are some of the things that you have to be very careful of. In packaged foods, we use a lot of things to make them tasty. And what are the 2 things that make food tasty? Do you know? Salt and fat. Yes, so be careful.
Why does it say it has 0 fiber, but it's 10% daily value?
Good question. Yeah. Yeah, this weird label. But again, scrutinize your labels. You know, look at them.
Most of the time, even if it says it has 0, it could have like 0.25.
Exactly.
Because they're allowed
They don't have to report anything under 0.5. So,
So you times the serving per container to the calories to get the actual amount that you're eating.
so if you eat the whole box and you didn't share it with 2.5 people, yeah. So 250 times 2.5, that's what you're getting. Also, protein times 2.5, that's pretty good.
600.
Sugar, yeah, 625 calories. How many grams of sugar in that yummy little ditty? 5 times 2.5.
That's 15.
So what's the 228 grams per cup? Is that something that we need to times up more by?
Oh no, that's how much. If I were to weigh my food, we're way behind the 8 ball as far as measurements go. Most people use the metric system. We start still in the dark ages. We use cups and ounces and pounds. So if you have a scale, anybody have one of those food scales at home? A lot of them go to grams or ounces. So you can actually weigh your food out in grams, which is much more accurate than cups and.
If you don't have one of those, it's really hard to do the My Diet thing. I've been trying really hard to just get
It comes in ounces, doesn't it?
It-
Oh, how much? Yes.
Yeah, like for how much if you like I ate 5 pieces of cheese or something.
Right.
It's like,
And
you don't-
typically each piece is an ounce, so 5 ounces. So yeah, you have to estimate the amount. But have you ever seen what the serving size should be for ice cream? Which is one of my favorite foods. Half a cup. I can cram more ice cream in a half a cup than any human being on the earth. So yeah, it's much more accurate to measure in grams than cups. Where we go?
Are listed at the top of the label. If the package contains 2.5 servings, the entire contents of the package would contain 2.5 times the calories and nutrients. The rest of the label provides information per serving of the packaged food and includes the total calories as well as the calories from fat. By looking at this section of the label, you can determine whether the food is high or low in fat content by dividing the fat calories by the total calories per serving. In this example, 110 fat calories divided by 250 total calories equals 44%, making it extremely high in fat. Next on the label is the list of nutrients found in this food. We should strive to limit those nutrients listed towards the top, such as total fat, saturated fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrates, and protein. We should strive to increase vitamins, fiber, calcium, and iron, which are located on the lower section of the label. As of January 2006, food labels will include trans fat content. In the right column of the label is the percent daily values, which tells us how much a serving of food contributes to your overall intake of nutrients listed on the label. The FDA uses standards based on a 2,000 calorie per day diet to define the percent daily values. We can use this nutritional information to design a more healthful diet. Let's compare these two cereals to decide which one is more nutritious. First, we need to decide the dietary components we are most concerned with. Let's choose fiber and vitamin C. Now, let's check the nutritional information for these components. The food labels show that Cereal 1 contains 2 grams of dietary fiber, or 8% daily value, whereas Cereal 2 contains 5 grams of fiber, or 20% of the daily value. Cereal 2 also contains 15% daily value for vitamin C per serving, whereas Cereal 1 contains no vitamin C. If we were only concerned about these two nutrients, Cereal 2 is the more nutritious choice. Using the nutritional information available to us makes a healthful diet and food choices much easier.
So understand that the percentage you're seeing is not necessarily for you. It's for who? That 2,000 calorie diet person. So if you happen to be on a diet where you're eating 1,600 calories a day or whatever you're eating, you would have to calculate for your diet. So, healthy choice. Is it such a healthy choice? Not really. Yeah, sodium is very high, 450 milligrams. Remember, you have to share that with 2 people. Yeah, see? So it's not really 250, what is it? I mean, it's not 400 and, what is that? I can't see it, 460? And about how much sodium should you have in a day? Does anybody know what that magic number is? About 2,000, 2,300 in 1 can of soup. Okay? So one of the things I hope I instill in you is that packaged and processed, it's done for a reason. It's done so that the food will last a long, 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 long time. It'll sit on a shelf for a long, 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 long time. What we want to try to do is get back to real food, right? An apple instead of an apple-like product. Yes?
So how about like the packaged apples, the bags?
What do you think? Which is better? Yeah, exactly. Because what's going to happen to the cut-up apple? Have you ever cut apples before and like kind of sit them on the counter? Yeah, they turn brown and nasty. So what do you think they have to do I cut them up and put them in the package apples? They have to chemicalize them so they don't turn brown. See what I'm saying? And then they start losing some of their nutritional value as well. You know what another thing we do, and everybody does it, that kills nutritional value in food? Cook it. Yeah. So when we talk about fruits and vegetables, it's best to do what with them? Eat them raw. Or as close to not, my mother back in the day, you'd buy the can o' peas. I hate peas. I think that's why I hate peas, because of the can o' peas. Have you ever had canned peas?
I love canned peas.
Do you love them? And then she'd put them in the pot and boil the living daylights. So by the time I got them, they were not even pea-like anymore. Hmm?
I've heard of people eating organic vegetables not cooked.
No, what I'm saying is the best nutrients, the best bang for your buck in any food, fruit or vegetable, is raw. Once you cook it, you start to degrade some of the vitamins and minerals in it. So even if you're going to cook it, don't kill it. You know, give it a little steam, light steam. Yeah, make it, you know, like a little crunchy still. Who likes that versus mush? Who likes the mush? There's somebody in here who likes the mush because you're used to the mush. You know, and a lot of food and a lot of the reasons why we eat certain foods have to do with textures of things. So it's what you're raised on, it's what you're used to. But you know, step out of the box. Try different foods. You know, maybe make them different ways that will be more helpful for you. I'm going to skip this because it's lengthy. So important for you to look at the nutritional facts on packaged foods that you buy in cereals and boxed foods. It's important and it's going to help you plan whether or not you want to put it in your mouth. Serving size, extremely important. So if it's a container of something that you know you're going to eat the whole thing, keep that in mind. Or if you decide you want those delicious Reese's peanut butter cups, maybe you have one and save one for later. Although I don't know if I could ever do that. So serving size per container is there. Calories per serving. So keep it in mind. So when you buy the Nesquik, keep it in mind. You're going to drink the whole thing, multiply everything by 2 or 2.5. Anybody have a soda? Oh, they were smart. They didn't bring soda to class. Go look at a soda. Go look at how many grams of sugar in a soda. And usually, huh? Yeah, well, it's not sugar. It's some other nasty chemical we created in the lab.
I recently discovered that Mountain Dew, because I used to drink it all the time, it has something called brominated vegetable oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
I googled that, and they use that as like a flame retardant.
Mm-hmm.
So I
A flame retardant. One of the projects one of my students did last nutrition class was on food additives. Anybody like blue things? No, not blueberries. Like, that's good, blue. I'm talking like blue soda and blue popsicles and blue, like, Laffy Taffy. Go home today and Google blue food dye. See where it comes from.
Icing on cereal and stuff is like skin or something.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of extremely interesting extracts used for food additives and colors. Okay?
Yeah, I saw.
What is it? One of them is the anal gland of beavers, yes. Yes. And no, blue I think is bug. It's a bug, crushed up beetles or something.
Oh, I heard that was red.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of interesting things in these dyed, strange colored foods. And not to be disgusting or anything, but has anybody ever had that birthday cake with the blue frosting on it?
Yeah.
Strange things happen to your body for days after. Have you noticed that?
I know.
You know what I'm talking about, those of you who have consumed the blue frosting. It's like, what is that? Bowel movements, right? Yeah, like a week. So that's moving through your gastrointestinal tract and doing all kinds of strange things to the cells that line it for a week. Yes?
Something on the news about the different colored food dyes. They did a bunch of studies and found that food dyes have been known to give kids like ADHD and stuff. And one parent said that she took food dyes completely out of her kid's diet. Her kid was fine, like calm.
Yep.
The kid even said, "I don't feel angry anymore. I feel good."
Yeah, there's a very close link to food additives, preservatives, and ADD and ADHD. And have we seen the incidence of ADD and ADHD on the rise in the past 10 years? What else has been on the rise? Yeah, processed, packaged, grab it quick, get it from a box, right? There's a link there. So, facts. Fats, cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrates, these are only some. So a small percentage of some of what we've decided are the most important nutrients is what you're going to see on the average food label. So it's not going to list every single vitamin and mineral like we do on the side of a vitamin bottle. And typically there's more than what we see on the label in there as well.
Now, this is because I'm not one of those fruit vegetable eaters, so I'm not sure why. I'm not sure how baby food is made per se, but for WIC is really a strict nutritional thing for the mothers and the babies. But they won't allow baby food peaches. You can buy regular peaches on WIC, but you cannot buy baby food peaches. It is not allowed, and I don't know why.
I don't know
And
why
they're
either.
all pears, and we always just assume that it has some kind of sugar content in it.
I have no idea. That's a good question.
I just don't know why, WIC doesn't tell us either, so.
Huh.
I didn't know if there was
You would
like-
think that they would at least tell you why.
Yeah, I just didn't know if peaches had a natural kind of thing, because I figure all the baby food's made the same, it's just different flavors.
Well, it's different fruits, but I wonder if it has something, I don't know. I've never heard of that.
Nutritional value after it's been processed is so much different.
Everything does. But I wonder if it's something to do with maybe an organism on peaches that, like corn sometimes has certain organisms on them that can be detrimental to younger children. Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. We should investigate that. Why won't WIC let you buy peaches? Yeah, that's interesting. No, I have no idea. Huh. All right. So only some of the nutrients or nutritional value is in there, the major guys. Of course, the calorie guys are in there, carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Then we break down the fats. When we talk about fats in this class, not all fats are the same. You need fats in your diet. Your cells are made of fat. It's called a phospholipid. Every single plasma membrane of every single cell in your body is made of fat.
So it's something that's really good to eat that will give us that fat.
Better fats for us to eat are ones that we can use chemically easier, and they're called unsaturated fats. And where do we get unsaturated fats from? Do you know? Plants. Plants. No, you don't have to eat planes. Saturated fats tend to come from animal sources. There are a couple of examples of the plant kingdom having saturated fats, but it's rare. Cholesterol also kind of gets a bad rap, but also very important. It's so important you make your own. So do we need to eat a lot of it?
Not a lot.
No. So cholesterol we have to be careful of, because when we take in our general lipids or fats, we're going to take in the ingredients to make our own cholesterol. That's what our liver does for us. So we don't need to eat a lot of cholesterol on top of that. That can lead to too much cholesterol, and that can lead to too much problems. We'll talk about that when we talk about the lipid chapter. There's my fiber listed for me, and sugars. Now, does sugars mean teaspoon of sugar always? No, because if I look on frozen strawberries, for example, that just are frozen strawberries, there's going to be sugars in there, because sugars are naturally found in what? Fruits. So some foods naturally have sugars, but especially in packaged processed food, this might be an indicator of teaspoons of sugar. So percent daily value describes how much a serving of food contributes to the intake. Again, on those packages, it's based on that 2,000 calorie diet person. So how would I figure out a percent daily value? you know. So say I had the 2,000 calorie diet, right? And I had, I'm going to use 10 because it's easy, 10 grams of carbohydrates in my product. How much calories from that 10 grams of carbohydrate would that be of my 2,000? It would be 10 times 4, so that would be 40. So what's this? Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going the other way.
Is it 40 divided by 2?
Yeah. .02 or 2%. So 10 grams of carbohydrates equals 40 kilocalories of energy. If I divide that by what I'm going to get for the total day, which is 2,000 in my 2,000 calorie diet, that gives me 0.02, and we multiply that by 100 to get a percentage. So that's what they do on the package. So if you had a different scheme and you wanted to figure out what the percentage was in the food that you ate, it kind of seems like extra steps to go through. If you just figure out how many grams of carbohydrates you want to eat in a day, just figure out how many grams are in that food and subtract it from your total for the day. Just easier, right? So here's some definitions. Reference daily intake, and these are all over the place. Change just a basic understanding, basic definition of these guys for me is good. Daily reference values. And then footnotes on the panel usually contain general dietary advice for people. Certain American Diabetes Association has said that this food is helpful in lowering blood glucose levels. So there might be some little blurb on how wonderful this food is. All of these things must be present on food labels if you are going to package and process a food. Now sometimes when you go to the store and you buy something fresh, homemade, is there a food label on it? So those regulations aren't quite as tight. Don't worry about that. FDA has approved several claims related to health and disease. Now because this is a very new science, we're going to get all kinds of research and all kinds of data that are going to come at us, bombard us with information. Not all of it is necessarily fact. Being a scientist, I know that if I graph something a certain way, I can make it look amazingly significant when it really isn't. Do you know what I mean? So if I created a graph, yeah, or make the scales blow up my results. So say I only had a 0.1% difference in something. Here's an example. And I created a graph, and my scale was 0.001, 0.002. You see what I'm saying? And it's only a 0.1 difference. I can make it look like it's significant when it really isn't. So you have to scrutinize this data. You have to look at it as a scientist and make sure that you look at reputable sources and not just, something that comes out in Esquire or, what's that one that you sit and wait while you're in the supermarket line and you look at the front page and, yeah, the Inquirer. Yeah. Elvis is still alive somewhere on some Martian planet or something. Those. Don't trust those all the time. Not necessarily true. Yeah, there's some phenomenal going to change your life weight loss thing. Yeah, and I know because I usually buy them. But I buy them because I'm curious to see, okay, what's the latest? What are they saying now? What's the latest thing?
One was if you walk 30 minutes a day, you will lose 7 pounds a week.
7 pounds in a week. But what else do you have to do besides walk 30 minutes a day? You probably have to, yeah, energy input versus energy output. That's the key. So the walking is good, but it's what you put in versus what you put out. So you have to be careful for all of those wonderful things. So some nutrients can be related to disease, deficiencies in different nutrients. As we go through this course, we'll talk about different things, vitamin deficiencies, and when we talk about the different major calorie groups, we'll talk about deficiencies in those as well. So general advice for nutrition and health from a reputable resource, nutrition journals. I know we don't have very many of them, but when you go down in the library, you can actually Google nutrition journals. I suggest when you do your report, you use a journal source. Yep, Chapter 1, at the end of Chapter 1, there's some really good resources there. U.S. Department of Health and Social Services, U.S. Department of Agriculture. Get you going in the right direction. Now, they're revised constantly. Why do you think they're revised constantly? Because this is a new science and everything's changing constantly. So again, this is going to be totally different. I just got my new edition of this textbook. I'm curious to see what's different in just one edition of a textbook. No, this is the old edition of the textbook, so it's probably, in the new edition of the textbook, it's probably going to be, yeah, 2010. No, we all have this one. This is 3rd edition, but the book just came out with the 4th edition. So the next time nutrition gets offered, it's going to be the 4th edition of this textbook. And I know there's going to be different things from that to this. Yeah, so you can't sell it back. Bummer. I know. You can sell it on eBay, though, and yeah. All right, so emphasize food choices and physical activity. Energy in versus energy out. Don't forget that part of a healthful diet. It's not just the food you put in your mouth. It's how you use the energy you produce. You want to help maintain body weight in a healthy range so that all of your different organ systems won't be overworked. When you increase your weight, you increase the strain on a lot of different body systems. When you are too thin, you increase the strain on a lot of body systems. So one of the problems in our country is we're constantly always talking about being too heavy, but what's just as bad, if sometimes not worse? Being too thin. So that healthy body range. Regular physical activity is very important. Wide varieties of fruits and vegetables are going to help to ensure we get a lot of the nutrients that we need, all the vitamins and minerals and the building blocks we need for a healthful diet. Foods with fiber to help move things along. Whole grain foods and high fiber, real food. So when I eat real food, like the real apple, I'm going to get more fiber than when I eat the processed apple product, right? Try to limit sodium intake. And one of the things that you're going to find in packaged processed foods, in order to keep it on the shelf for a long period of time, they're going to put a lot of what in it? Lots and lots of salt. What happens is we create tons and tons of little salt receptors, more than normal, on our tongue. And so we crave more salt. So one of the things, if you think you're in that category where you put way too much, and I'm there, you know, I would be salting my food before I even tasted it. Wean yourself off of it. Same thing with anything else that you think you do in excess. Too much salt, too much sugar, same thing. Moderate alcohol consumption. And I know that many of you might not agree with me, but alcohol in moderation. It's not good for you. You tax your liver. It's bad. It's got 7 kilocalories per gram. It's fattening. Yes? So, meals. Which ones? They have the same energy. I mean, which snack would you rather have? I'm going there. I'm going there. You know, I only get a few gummy bears and a couple of Oreos and Diet Coke. So I'm going to get gas. I'm going to get bloating. I'm not really going to get as much as I probably want. So I'm probably going to do what? Go eat more, right? Here I'm going to get some good nutrients. So look at these comparison diets and see, you know, which is healthy versus meals with foods high in nutrient density and meals with foods low in nutrient density. Again, they're both about the same caloric intake, but as far as what you get for those calories, there's a big, big difference. So my pyramid, which has changed a lot since it was first put out there many, many, many years ago, is set up by the USDA, United States, what? Department of Agriculture. It's a food guide to try and give us all of those things we need in a day. This latest one, the one we see in this book, and probably in the next edition, it's going to be a later developed one, but this one we see in this textbook was developed in 2005. U.S. Department of Health and Social Services, U.S. Department of Agriculture work together to help provide standards for nutrition. It's going to emphasize physical activity, moderation, personalization. So there's choices within the pyramid. So if you see 4 different proteins, for example, and you hate tuna, don't eat tuna. Choose another choice in the protein category so you can personalize it. Variety and gradual improvement on the groups of foods that you eat. So in the old days, they used to go in this direction. Some of them still do, and they showed you all the different types of foods. But these are the different categories that we should eat. One of the ones that is overrated in the American food pyramid is milk. Do we need milk to survive? No. Nope. Nope. What's milk for? The milk that we drink. It's to make a little cow into a very big cow. Was it meant for you? No. But we somehow think that if we don't drink milk, that our bones will dissolve as we walk down the hall, right? So that one's a little overrated. There's other kinds of milk. Milk from nuts. I think the same way for children. Yeah. As long as you get what you drink milk for, and what do you drink milk for? Calcium. Actually, it has to be added to cow's milk, vitamin D, and fat and calories. So as long as you're getting those into your children in the right proportions, why does it have to come from cow? My opinion. So, and different categories of foods in varied amounts. Notice, what's the little skinny one there? It doesn't line it up. Fats, sugars. So the pyramid's going to break up these different categories: grains, vegetables, fruits, dairy, meats or beans. Who's anybody vegetarian in the class? No? Everybody's a carnivore? Do you ever try and not eat meat for a day and have meatless Mondays or whatever?
I don't really eat chicken. I'm not really picky about it.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Just not good.
I don't like cooking it. I don't like seeing it raw. And then I like it. It tastes good.
Do you what do you do? Do you eat beans and things like that in place of? Because you have to think of your protein, right? You can get protein from other things besides meat. Fish, yeah. Peanut butter, nuts, berries. Well, you're not a big nut person. You are, so that's good. One of the problems with too many nuts versus that other protein is fat. But you're not worried about it. You don't have to worry about that. So all these different categories are outlined for you in the food pyramid. So it's a guidance system, just to kind of give you an idea, a guesstimate of how you should break up your foods in a day. Vitamins, minerals, dietary fiber, essential nutrients, helps to make choices that'll lower too many fats and cholesterol. Increase that fruit and vegetable. How many of you, assess what you ate yesterday? How many of you did not have a fruit or vegetable? Yes, some of you are lying to them. Be honest.
McDonald's has a salad for $1.
Yeah, $1.
Well, so is it.
Thing is, I ate yogurt yesterday, but I usually don't. That's like
You ate yogurt?
No, I had fruit.
You had a fruit? Yeah. But sometimes we'll go through a whole day and be like, I don't think I ate
I
any.
can go. I go almost every day without a vegetable though. Like
Yeah, oatmeal's not a fruit.
No, it says the only thing healthy I had yesterday.
Was oatmeal. Yeah. So yeah, you got to be careful. Baby carrots are just big carrots that whittled down to baby.
The way they process
Something
them
they
though.
process them in. It's all of them.
Yeah, and they sit in that kind of slimy bag for a long period of time. You notice that?
They have bleach in them. I saw a show that, I watched that movie, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Scary, huh?
Chicken too, they dip boneless, skinless chicken and whole chickens, they dip it in
Bleach.
bleach. And so when the baby carrots, that's why some, when you bring them home, they have like a white film on them because they're bleached to keep them from.
The other thing, my friends, you know when you buy lettuce in the package and you think it's all washed? It is, but how washed is it?
well,
Do
there
you
was-
want to take that
There's
chance?
a problem actually on the news about that. They had to recall a whole bunch of those packaged.
Are you talking
Yep.
about like the heads of lettuce in the bag or like just?
No, like, a bag of already chopped up salad you throw in a bowl.
I worked in the produce department in Hannaford. My job was a greens person, anything cooking or, oh
And
my
you had
god,
to-
it comes dirt encrusted, so you know it's like straight off the ground into the box. And we have to wash it. We're trained to specifically do organic stuff in different water, it's, oh my god, it's ridiculous. Actually, there's this one guy who wanted it, just the box, like not washed at all. Because we have to wash it, tag it, everything.
Yep.
It takes 5 hours to do the entire thing, so I hope you are happy. But it's what we have to do. It takes 5 hours to do the entire section.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's-
And then when you get it home, what should you do to it?
Wash it again.
Yeah, wash it again. Because, watch this. No, I don't want that one. No, I don't want that one. Yeah? How many times does that happen? So, there are different food pyramids depending on where you're from. So we aren't the end-all and be-all here in the Americas like we always think we are. Different countries have different staples in their foods, different thoughts about how much of what category they should eat. So which one is the best? Well, ask that country and they'll tell you it's ours. But use your discretion. What do you enjoy eating? What do you think makes you feel best? I know. I know.
Well, I know because we get a lot of
Excuse me.
tourists and working in Hannaford, my dad made a point of saying, because I worked there for 4 years, he's like, have you ever seen a fat Canadian? And I'm like, no, I haven't.
Yes.
They buy like 10 bottles of wine every time though, and I'm
Go to the beach. Yeah, go to Old Orchard Beach. Yeah, but different countries, again, European diets. You know, people say, oh, the French, their foods are so rich and so fattening. Yeah, well, they don't eat supersized amounts of their foods, do they? What do they eat? Hey, they eat a moderate amount, a small serving. So these are different examples in your textbook of different countries and their food pyramids. Latin American diet, heavy in the fruits, vegetables, grains, tend to eat more shellfish and poultry than they do red meat. Very rarely do we see red meat in their diet. Eggs. Another thing, liquids. Water. Not soda liquids, not tea liquids, water liquids. We want to get plenty of those in our diet in a day. Alcohol in what? Moderation. The Asian. So we have a lot of, down here, we see a very high rice-based diet because that's a big staple in their diets. Fruits, vegetables, seeds tend to be more their protein. Very small amounts of these guys because they don't get them on a regular basis. It depends. It depends on where you live, and it depends on if you have money or not, right? So we have this vision of what these different countries eat, but when you go to these different countries, in reality, that might not be what they're getting. You know, you go to a Chinese restaurant. Do any Chinese people eat that stuff? No. They'd be like, what the heck is that? Where did you, where?
Well, I cook a lot differently at home.
Yep.
My friend, they came from China, and so I got to see what their grandparents and parents ate, and it was, but they cook completely differently at home than they do.
Yeah. And there's a lot of what? There's a lot of this category in here and this. So rice-based and then vegetables and with a kind of a smattering of the fish and stuff like that in their diet. So that's for the average person. Sake on this one, beer or wine. Notice the reoccurring theme. Everybody seems to think or seems to know that water is important. So it's important for you to drink water in your diet. This is one of the very popular ones, Mediterranean diet. Very rich in some very good high nutrient-based fruits and vegetables, pomegranates. Anybody like, love the pomegranate. They're very high in antioxidants, blueberries, pomegranates, strawberries. Some of these vegetables and fruits are wonderful for you. Spinach. Spinach is awesome. Who likes the spinach? Yes, spinach is miracle food, honestly. There's so many different nutrients in spinach. And you can put it in things and not even know it's there. I have spinach for breakfast every morning. Yep. You know how? Smoothie. Yep.
They said all spinach will do is
Turn it green. Make it look funny.
Yeah.
Can't even taste it. So my breakfast every morning, I know it looks horrible, but honestly it tastes good. I should bring it in and make it for you. Banana, strawberry, almond milk, protein, spinach. Without what? Without milk? Yeah, you can do it with juice or water. Or yogurt. You can put yogurt in there. Yeah, but depend. You got to fool with it. You can make some really good ones. I get this stuff. It's powderized peanut butter. It's like 1.5 grams of fat. It's awesome. And I put that in with banana. So peanut butter banana, spinach.
The one thing you forget to put in a smoothie is something with fat in it, like peanut butter. Because that's why they say, oh, I'm always hungry, but I'm drinking all these shakes. It's because you don't put the fat in it.
Well, and you need the protein in there too. That's important.
And the protein and fat, you need both of those in there.
Right.
Just to make it not like a whole bunch. Just
Right.
A little bit, just enough to make you feel not hungry.
Exactly. So I drink that in the morning on the way to work. And I'm usually, I'm good till about 1:30. And that's breakfast every morning. So I know, it's ew. You're going to try it, though. Step out of the box.
I might try it.
See, I use almond milk. I don't use regular milk. Have you ever tried almond milk?
No, I've never tried anything like that. I really have not touched it.
We have to broaden your horizons.
People say it's
Yeah, I don't drink regular milk anymore.
people say it's
Never
better
have.
with stuff like with cereal or anything.
Well,
I've
one of
tried
the
it without it and it just tastes.
They have it in the calf.
Yeah. In soy milk, I like the soy milk. Different products, it's a texture thing, you know. And when you first try something new, like what somebody told me when I started drinking soy milk way back when, because I had problems with allergies, a lot of mucus production and running noses all the time, and read an article about milk and mucus production. So I said, let me try this. So way back when I started drinking soy milk. So I started drinking chocolate soy milk because I was like, ooh, this is gross. So I started drinking that, and then I switched over to the regular after I get used to the whole difference. And now I drink almond milk. But, you know, try the flavored kind first, just to get you trying it. Has more sugar than you should have, but... How come?
I don't know.
Because who's more available?
It's both available. Honestly, but I don't know why some people say it helps with the immune system.
Yeah.
I don't know what are the ingredients.
Yeah, and it might be more nutritious. Camel's milk might be more nutritious, especially
Here it's goat's milk, so maybe it's
goat.
whatever produces milk that's better than cows.
Exactly.
I also currently in Australia.
Yeah. And there's a lot of countries in Ireland, goat's milk, warm goat's milk. Yeah, my husband went to Ireland. He's like, what's that? Where's the fridge? You know, different countries, different cultures, different habits. This is a very, very popular diet, the Mediterranean diet. I like it because they let you drink some wine, but there's a lot of good, healthy fruits and vegetables on there. Fish at least 2 times a week, and those guys up at the top in moderation. That seems to be an ongoing theme in all the pyramids. Sardinian diet. Oh, I don't have time for that. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I want to show it to you.
I've heard that they're trying not to use the pyramid and like use the plate.
Yeah, the plate is another version, and it's actually more visually sound for people. So when I create a plate for myself, portion it off in certain percentages. And you'll see that in there too, my plate. I'm going to show you this one because it's very interesting.
Diane, as you know, is away this morning, but before she left, she had a chance to explore a fascinating issue, the secret to a longer, healthier life.
So this week we decided to take a look at health secrets from around the world, health and longevity, and the diets and lifestyles that make for longer lives. Dan Buettner wrote a best-selling book about it. It's called The Blue Zones. We love it when he comes by to tell us the secrets of the longest-lived communities in the world. And today, it's Sardinia.
That's right, which is in the middle of the Mediterranean, and we know that people who eat the Mediterranean diet live about 6 years longer than people who don't. The Sardinians have 2 types of bread. A flat bread they call carta de musica, made of durum wheat, which is the wheat we make our pasta on. The point is it's a whole grain bread. And then their leavened bread has actually risen with a type of bacteria that replaces bad bacteria in your gut and actually generates some vitamins.
So they're getting fiber in their bread, and they're also getting a kind of healthy intestinal bacteria.
Exactly right. This is the closest thing to a longevity elixir you'll ever find. This is Sardinian Continental, and this has the highest levels of antioxidants of any wine in the world, any known wine.
This is isn't just red wine. This is the darkest red wine you can get, which is the most hit you can get of healthy heart chemicals.
We know all those healthy chemicals actually exist in the pigment. This is so dark that the Italians call it vino nero, which means black wine. And another thing we've just learned, and this is a secret you haven't heard before, it's so important to drink your wine with the meal. Your body, if you're eating a Mediterranean diet and drinking wine, you literally create polyphenols, those antioxidants that scrub your arteries. So that's an important point to realize.
So do it with the food. This you can buy?
Yes, you can buy that anywhere in America, especially wine shop especially.
We know about the Mediterranean vegetables and the fruits, but you're saying it's not just that, it's which vegetables, which fruits.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what vegetables and fruits. The point is to sideshow meat. Meat is a once-a-week celebration, not something you heap on your plate several times a day. The other thing we found in blue zones around the world, they tend to eat a lot of fish. The longest lived diets don't include a lot of fish. If you're going to include protein in your diet, I suggest this cheese that the Sardinians.
So you say the Sardinians tend to have a wedge of cheese, a piece of that high-fiber bread for breakfast, and then meat just once a week on Sunday.
Once a week, yes.
That's it.
The important thing to realize about this cheese that makes it special, I think, it comes from grass-fed sheep. And when you get products from grass-fed animals, they're high in omega-3 fatty acids, not the omega-6 fatty acids you get from grain-fed animals. So here you have high omega-3 fatty acids, and it's really sharp. So you only need a little bit to get that satiated feeling. You don't need an inch of it like you need with milder cheese.
Fill you up. Finally, nuts. You have, as long as I've known, been saying to me that the one common denominator of these pockets of people living really long and healthy lives, nuts.
This is amazing.
So you're good. What's your nuts?
We know that people who eat 2 ounces of nuts, about a handful, 4 times a week, live 2 to 3 years longer than people who don't eat nuts. It's an easy formula. 2, 4, 2. 2 ounces, 4 times a week, 2 years of life expectancy.
Okay, here it is. The dark wine, the whole wheat bread, the fruits and vegetables, the nuts, and meat once a week. And we'll live forever.
Well, you'll live another 6 years.
They have one thing that we can't get here. Cheese with maggots in it?
This is the place where men live the longest in the world. There's about 20 times more centenarian 100-year-olds, and it happens to be among men. And at manifestations, this is a type of this sort of cheese, except it's maggot-ridden. And these maggots are alive, and they may contain bacteria that are good for our gut. We don't know. We just know the longest-lived men in the world eat this, and they eat it as a manifestation of toughness.
Right. But thank you.
We're not going to make you eat it.
Okay.
I'm going to pass on the maggot cheese. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. And
Somebody recently, within the last 2 weeks, told me that you're not actually supposed to drink while you're eating.
there's many schools of thought that think when you drink water while you eat, you dilute some of the enzymes that are breaking down some of your food. So it's best not to drink while you eat, drink after. Yeah. So again, who's right? We have to look at the studies, and then we have to use again our common sense. If we're really thirsty while we're eating, would you want to choke, or do you want to dilute a couple of enzymes? So use our common sense. Now, what do I have left here for this? I think we're almost done. Are you good with finishing up this on your own? So it talks, the rest of the chapter talks about, eating out in restaurants, making sure you look at portions. A couple of things I want you to do this weekend. I'm going to open up quiz number 2, so we're finished with chapter 2. So you'll have a couple of quizzes due. I'll have it due not until before class on Monday for chapter 2. Chapter 1 is going to be due Friday, right? I want you to go look at some nutrition facts of your favorite food. I know you don't want to. I want you to go and just look up the nutrition facts of something that you thought was a healthy choice. and see if it really is a healthy choice. So we'll start with class on Monday looking at some of your healthy choices and what might have scared you when you went to look. Okay? I think, is everybody here today? Did everybody come? 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. So somebody's missing. Huh? You came late? You came late? I didn't take attendance yet. I'm winging it. You're all here. See you on Monday. So don't forget, I'll send you a little note that says, I open up the quiz, this is when it's due, yada, yada, yada. Don't forget, take your quiz.